Sculptor Bradford Rhea has partnered with the community of Sterling to create beautifully carved trees, and his sculptures gave Sterling its famous nickname, City of Living Trees. He has since created bronze sculptures and is currently working in marble. Let's meet Bradford and learn about this unique style of sculpting.
I've been interested in art since I was young. In second grade, I was kind of showing an affinity for drawing, and my parents sent me to a summer art school. But I was kind of too shy and didn't do too well at that. So over the years, I did drawing on my own, and then in about ninth grade, I tried some ceramic work and was doing some sculpting in clay, and I found out I had a knack for that. And then from there, I began to pursue different forms of sculpture. The person who inspired me the most, other than other artists, would have been a third grade teacher I had who allowed our class to go outside and draw one day. And I used to draw at home all the time. I would look out our front window and draw the Rocky Mountains and see all the shading and the dimension in there. And so in this class, I drew the mountains, of course, and on the way back into the classroom, the teacher stopped me and looked at my drawing, and she said, "What a beautiful drawing of the mountains," and that was really life-changing for me. I've worked with a lot of different materials. I started working with wood, the tree sculptures in Sterling, and then clay, wax, bronze, and marble. When I started carving those trees, I asked the extension office how long they would last, and they said probably 20 years or more. And of course, when you're young, 20 years sounds like forever. But it was before I knew it, they started to topple over, and so there was a local group at that time who raised money to try and restore the trees and then cast them in bronze. One of the sculptures that's probably most recognized locally is called Sky Grazers. It was actually created from a tree that grew in a park, Columbine Park there. And it's a big 16-foot tall tree, actually pretty close to the actual size of a giraffe, and that's what ended up being carved into that tree. And actually, I'll have to say that was someone else's idea. Had seen the tree and said it looked like it could be giraffes, and so I have to say one of my better ideas wasn't my idea. But I did, bring the giraffes out of the tree, and most of it really, that tree really lent itself towards that end, so it just worked perfectly for that. One of the most accessible sculptures is at the Visitor Center, and it was actually created in someone's yard in Sterling years ago. It was commissioned by this young man for his mom, and is a sculpture of a butterfly in the process of metamorphosis. There have been projects that I get pretty consumed by. For instance, the Tetragrammaton, the fountain that I finished recently, was one of those that was evolving kind of in my head. And I would sketch real quick, and then I would sculpt, and so I sculpted the trumpeting angel, and then I'd get another idea and I'd draw on my paper the next level. This marble took 5 years, so you can imagine I didn't know how they would all be in there. I didn't have a model, and I knew the verse said there are 7 angels. So for the first 2 years of roughing this piece out, I wasn't sure whether they would all fit. And so it was consuming in that way, but yet you still, you have to live every day and find a way to get the piece to look fluid over a long period of time. I read the verse in Revelation that says, "And the 7 angels with the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound." It's Revelation 8:6. And so I started carving right in the corner, basically just roughing the pieces out, or the figures out, and I carved kind of counterclockwise all the way around the block. And that was, like I said, about a 2-year period of roughing these figures out. And then I came back and started to detail everything with a lot of different tools, and then to polish it. I really like this process. It's called subtractive sculpture, taking the pieces away. And for me, it is so much like life. Every decision you make is irrevocable. You make mistakes, and you have to figure out a way to work with them, and you also run into things that you don't expect. I'm really grateful to be able to experience all that through this process. After all the years on this journey, I have to say that I realized that, you know, the ultimate sculptor, of course, is our Creator, and I've been a tool in the process. I've been sculpted myself every day through this process. And I am grateful. For instance, I know when I work on one of these pieces, God made the rock. He made me. He made everything, gave me the thoughts. And I know He could take that away at any moment. So for me, that is really what this has all come down to. And I look at this piece and I think, you know, I think this creation of stone that He made, the vein of this beautiful stone is wondrous. Not necessarily in my sculpture, and just the fact that it's there to be sculpted. He is the ultimate sculptor, and that's proof of it.